Hello everyone, welcome back to Believer Science Academy. This is daily news analysis session. In this session, we'll be discussing important articles and editorials from the perspective of UPSC prelims, mains as well as interview. So the first article which I have chosen is from the Hindu, that is, how do unsafe cancer drugs reach patients? Okay, these are the cancer drugs which have become very unsafe and are reaching to the patients. So that is discussed here. It comes under topic health and social justice in paper 2 governance, health, regulatory mechanisms as well. Why it is in news? It is in news because a new investigation by Bureau of Investigative Journal TBIJ, as reported by the Hindu, revealed low quality and unsafe cancer drugs are reaching vulnerable patients, especially in the poorer countries. Okay, so what are cancer drugs? They are also called as anti-cancer drugs. Okay, these are certain cancer drugs which are used to treat cancer patients. Their purpose can be to target the cancer cell or help in reducing the cell division of the cancer cells or tumor cells, malignant cells, etc. etc. There are various types of cancer cells according to the cancer. For example, there is a different cancer drug for prostate cancer. There is another different kind of drug for breast cancer, etc. etc. Okay, so under this journalism report, they say that there are quality risks in cancer drug manufacturing in India. Sorry, cancer drug manufacturing and distribution. Over the life cycle of cancer drugs, these are the issues. One is during the manufacturing, which is resulted due to contamination. Why? Because poor clean room hygiene, untrained staff, improper air handling, all these result in contamination. What is the result? It is going to result in bacterial contamination, which renders life-saving drugs unsafe. And it is also resulting in weak quality control. Issue is that untested raw materials, dirty equipment and unsafe water use. As a result, drugs become toxic and lose efficacy. The drugs which are meant to help or save lives are becoming toxic and are resulting in deaths of the people. And also there is a distribution vulnerability from manufacturing, from quality control, and then there is also distribution issue. Exposure to heat, moisture or mishandling in transport is resulting drugs before reaching the patients is reducing or degrading the drugs efficacy. Okay, so these are the issues why cancer drugs are becoming unsafe. Why this issue is more especially in the low income countries. Why they are more vulnerable? Because of the weak regulatory systems, that is lack of legal and institutional capacity to test or reject poor quality drugs. Example quoted by this is Nepal lacks proper training import testing systems. Okay, and second is lack of infra and experts. There are no certified labs or trained drug safety professionals in India. And third is no supply chain tracking. That is, drugs can be repackaged or sold without oversight. Porous borders and poor digital systems worsen the problem as well. Again, same thing, from the production, distribution and supply. There are weaknesses in low income countries. And then there is corruption and poor enforcement. Corruption is evergreen, or it is present everywhere, from sports, from healthcare, from politics, etc. etc. everything. Here also there is an issue, that is bribery in customs and procurement allows fake or substandard drugs to enter into the country. As a result, so for example, unsafe cancer drugs supplied to the hospitals without checks. And also there is a reliance on low cost imports. Okay, since they are vulnerable and poorer countries, they cannot afford high quality, high grade cancer drugs. So as a result, without GMP, that is good manufacturing practices verification, cheap generics are used unchecked. Okay, when they are used unchecked, it is going to result in toxic implications. For example, in Yemen in 2022, 10 children died from contaminated methotrexate. which is a drug used in breast cancer, okay, and other cancers as well. Because it was contaminated and because it was low cost, people started importing in Yemen, and it was used in children. As a result, it resulted in deaths of 10 unfortunate children. Okay, then what is WHO's role in drug safety? WHO has certain rules such as rapid alert system. In rapid alert system, it alerts countries about dangerous drugs in circulation globally, and global benchmarking tool, which rates regulatory bodies from level 1 to 4, and most nations are still at level 1 to 2. And finally, pre-qualification and GMP enforcement, that is ensures only certified labs and manufacturers supply safe drugs. And finally, certificate of pharmaceutical product, like a drug passport, confirms the safety and approval in exporting country. Okay, so WHO is playing an active role. However, because of the various reasons which I mentioned prior, that policies have not been properly implemented in weaker countries, especially. What about India then? What is India's effort in ensuring drug safety? One is strengthening regulatory oversight, that is CDSCO regulates manufacturing and samplings under Drugs and Cosmetics Act of 1940. Okay, pre-independence act is still being used in India, so there is a need to bring upheavals or changes in the Drugs and Cosmetics Act of 1940. And then there is track and trace mechanism is also there, which uses barcoding systems for exports to detect counterfeit currency and monitor supply chains. And production linked incentive scheme for pharmaceuticals, that is it incentivizes firms for GMP compliance and high quality production. Despite that, the issue still persists. So what should be the way forward? In way forward, you should address the issues which are present in India or which are present in weaker countries, such as establishing an authority. What should be the authority? That is National Drug Quality Monitoring Authority. Okay, so independent body to audit GMP compliance and enforce accountability. And as we say, there is lacunae in infrastructure and human resources. Therefore, there should be investment resulting in upgrading testing labs with modern technologies. And also, to avoid human errors, train skilled professionals for strict batch level testing and inspections. These are the way forward which can be implemented so that this is no longer a menace. Okay. Second one, important articles, which is not today's news, but it has been circulating for last 3-4 days. So I thought it is important for you guys to understand this issue. Not an issue actually, it is mainly fact-based article, that is Zoological Survey of India records 683 faunal discoveries in its 110th year. Obviously topic is GS3, environment and ecology, biodiversity conservation, environmental pollution, degradation, EI, etc. etc. So why it is in news? Recently, ZSI, that is Zoological Survey of India, released version 2.0 of checklist of fauna of India. Fauna of India, documenting 1,05,244 species and subspecies, along with 683 new faunal discoveries. Okay, 683 new faunal discoveries in 2024 and 2025, marking its 100th year of operation. Okay, focus on the word fauna. There is flora and then there is fauna. Flora is nothing but plants, fauna is nothing but animal kingdom. Okay, so recently 683 new species of fauna has been discovered. So what is Zoological Survey of India? It was founded in 1916 by British zoologist Thomas Nelson Annandale. Okay, Annandale, not Annandale, Annandale, sorry. Headquarters is in Calcutta. Origins traces back the origins to zoological section of Indian Museum 1975. It was a zoological section in the museum, and from there it resulted in Zoological Survey of India. Mandate is to conduct faunal surveys, exploration and taxonomy research, and document distribution, diversity and status of India's fauna. It is also the apex taxonomic research institution under Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. The Zoological Survey of India is also mandated with the task of looking after zoos and translocation of animals from one zoo to other zoo for various purposes. All these things are looked after by Zoological Survey of India. Then key discoveries in 2024-25. In reptiles, there is a new genus called as Dravidocepus goensis. It is a new skink genus from the Western Ghats. Okay, skink genus from Western Ghats. And then there is Anguiculus dicaprioi, which is a Coluberidae family named after Leonardo DiCaprio. Very important and very funny as well. DiCaprio. And total 2 new genera, 37 new reptile species. And in amphibians, 5 new species of frogs from northeast and southern India were identified. And in invertebrates, major discoveries in Cleopatra, that is beetles, Lepidopatra, moths and butterflies, Dipetra, flies, and Hymenoptera, ants, bees, and wasps. So important discoveries were found in these 4. Insects form the largest share of new species discovered, obviously, because insects are so many that many of the species are yet to be discovered, and I'm sure in the coming years more and more species of insects will be discovered. So what is the significance of Zoological Survey of India's work? It helps in biodiversity conservation, obviously. New species record support habitat protection and ecosystem planning. It is key to updating Indian Red Data Book. It supports India's Sustainable Development Goals, particularly SDG 15, Life on Land, and Western Ghats and Northeast as hotspot. Many species discovered in these biodiversity rich but ecologically threatened regions. Finally, global scientific contribution enhances India's role in global taxonomic and conservation efforts. Okay, so this is the significance of ZSI's works. So what should be the way forward in addressing the challenges? One is expanding the faunal surveys to unexplored ecosystems such as deep sea, high altitude habitats, which are very difficult to be do the surveys, and strengthening taxonomy infrastructure and digitization of faunal data. Very important, so that we do not forget the data of faunas, which we are going to find. Integration with climate and habitat data for proactive conservation. And finally, more funding and field research fellowships to attract young taxonomists. Okay, so any field of research can only survive if there are more young people which are interested in the particular field of research. Okay, so we should bring and attract more young taxonomists so that this can be sustained for a longer period of time. Then, so there is another article which I found to be very important, especially from this year's mains perspective. That is using technology to empower women and children. Paper GS2, governance, welfare schemes, e-governance, social justice can also be used in GS4, can also be used in ethics, essay, etc., etc. So in line with Viksit Bharat at 2047, Ministry of Women and Child Development has harnessed digital technology to deliver targeted, inclusive and transparent welfare services. From nutrition and material health to child protection and women's safety, technology is being used as a force multiplier for social justice. So key digital initiatives of the ministry are Saksham Anganwadi. If you are seeing the video, then please do make a note of these important initiatives I am going to tell. One is objective is to modernize over 2 lakh Anganwadi centers. Tech features, smart infrastructure, digital devices and e-learning tools. Impact is it enhances service delivery in nutrition, preschool education and maternal child care. Saksham Anganwadi. And then there is Poshan Tracker, which is a real-time data system integrated with 14 lakh Anganwadi centers. And then there is over 10.14 crore beneficiaries such as pregnant women, lactating mothers and children under 6 have been registered under Poshan Tracker. Okay, what is Poshan? Poshan is nutrition. It provides nutrition to the pregnant women, lactating mothers and children under 6. Functions is track nutrition services, monitor performances, policy input, etc., etc. Awarded, it was awarded the Prime Minister's Award for Excellence in Public Administration in 2025. And then there is facial recognition in supplementary nutrition program. Very, very important. How you are integrating technology in governance. Facial recognition in supplementary nutrition program, which ensures targeted delivery and reduces leakages in nutrition support. Okay. And then there is women's safety empowering through tech. How you are empowering women's safety through technology. One is She Box Portal, which is a single window grievance platform for sexual harassment complaints, provides online redressal under Sexual Harassment Act of 2013. And then there is Mission Shakti dashboard and app, which connects women in distress to one-stop centers, which is operational in almost every districts. Also provides in real-time support and integration of services. Okay. So for maternal health, there is Prime Minister Matru Vandana Yojana 2.0 under PM Matru Vandana Yojana rules 2022, 5,000 for the first child, 6,000 for the second girl child, which is going to ensure or incentivize gender equality. Okay. And then features Aadhaar based direct benefit transfer, mobile registration, real time dashboard, etc. etc. This is how technology has been inculcated into welfare schemes and integrated under Mission Shakti as well. And for child welfare and protection, there is Carings Portal, which is a transparent online system for adoption under JJ Act of Juvenile Justice Act of 2015. It tracks child availability, eligibility, and processing status. And then there is Mission Vatsalya dashboard, which monitors child care institutions, foster care, and statutory mechanisms. And then there is NCPCR platforms, which provides digital tools for tracking and addressing child rights violations. Very important. All these points are very important. You can use these and quote in all kinds of answers. And there is what are the tangible outcomes. There is also proof on how the technology has improved gender equality. So from 2014 to 2023, 23-24, sex ratio at birth has improved from 918 to 930, a very significant improvement. And then the maternal mortality rate has also reduced from 130 to 97. So there is a proof already for the advantages of technology in e-governance. Okay, and how it is significant for governance? It ensures efficient targeting, that is real-time dashboards, Aadhaar linked benefits, and mobile apps, reduces exclusion errors and duplication. And then there is transparency and accountability, which provides citizens facing portals and grievance redressal mechanisms, which is going to build public trust. And then there is women-led development, which empowers frontline workers and promotes digital literacy among women. Finally, the conclusion is that the digital transformation reflects minimum government, maximum governance in action, in letter and spirit. By embedding technology in welfare delivery, the government is ensuring that the women and children are not just beneficiaries but also active agents in India's developmental journey towards Amrit Kal. Very important. This can be your punching line or punching conclusion to your answers. Okay. And then the third article, or the fourth article, sorry, for today is Refacing Global Developmental Finance. This is an editorial in the the Hindu. The author was Sachin Chaturvedi, who is the Vice Chancellor of Nalanda University. So context is, it is refacing global developmental finance. So it understands what is the current trends in India. So India's development cooperation with the global south has significantly expanded, with assistance rising from 3 billion to 7 billion. The key modalities of engagement include capacity building, technology transfer, market access, grants, and concessional finance, especially under the lines of credit under IDEAS. Okay, very important. These are the key modalities of engagement. Okay, this is areas where more money has been taken from the taken by Indian government. Then key shifts and challenges. Finance Ministry's caution in 2025 and 26 suggest a move away from line of credits due to unpredictable global capital markets, sovereign debt distress among recipient countries. Okay, India is trying to move away from the line of credits from these institutions. So global ODA is also shrinking from 214 billion in 2023 to 97 billion is projected, which shows a about 45% cut. Decline of US aid, UK's FCDO and OECD DAC's influence reflects reduced traditional aid flows. Okay, initially there was US aid, etc., was coming to India, but because of the cut from the government under line of credit, these aids are also coming. The flow of these aids is also reducing in India. And in global debt and SDG funding crisis, SDG financing needs have risen from 2.5 trillion to 4 trillion in 2024. SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, achieving Sustainable Development Goals request financing. That financing needs have increased from 2.5 trillion in 2015 to 4 trillion in 2024, which is almost equal to India's GDP. Pandemic, economic shocks, and costlier borrowings have hampered development progress across least developed countries. There is also triangular cooperation, which is a new model. Triangular cooperation brings together a traditional donor from the northern and a pivotal country in the south and a partner recipient country in another country in south. Examples is Japan, Indonesia in ASEAN, Germany, Brazil in Mozambique. Okay, so these are the donors from north and south which are helping a recipient country. So Germany, India, TRC in Africa. So India, though it is one of the chief recipients, it is also playing a role as a donor as well, especially in Africa, such as Cameroon, Ghana, Malawi, and Latin America. TRC promotes shared learning, local ownership, and effective solutions. Funding estimates from 670 million to 1 billion globally. Okay, so what should be the India's way forward? Okay, how should India move away from the current trends? That is, shift from line of credits to balanced multi-modal strategy. Leverage TCR for expanding digital and physical infrastructure. Okay, if you are going to provide credits to a particular country, then use your own infrastructure such as Beam UPI, okay, etc., to expand your hold in the particular country, which is going to bring soft power as well as hard power. Driving SDG progress through joint projects. And finally, use platforms like G20 and Voice of Global South Summit to deepen partnerships. Promote initiatives like Global Innovation Partnerships with the UK. Okay, not very significant from the mains, but very significant from the prelims. Then a very important topic, especially for students writing mains this year, that is AI in India, strategy must precede mission. This is another editorial from the Hindu, written by Ruchi Gupta. The central argument is India has an ambition to bring in AI models in India. So India's ambition to lead in AI governance is undermined by the absence of democratically grounded national AI strategy. Execution through the India AI mission is premature without first setting clear public and strategic priorities. Okay, so other provides certain key areas which should be addressed before going through AI governance. So key concerns are there is lack of strategic direction. That is, the India AI mission, while operational, lacks strategic clarity, and there is no clear articulation of national priorities, governance values, or institutional structure. Then there is also risk to strategic autonomy. Heavy reliance on foreign AI companies or technologies could compromise national security. Critical AI integration in defense, finance, and infrastructure demands sovereign capabilities. Okay, in these areas you cannot depend on the AI from different countries. Okay, there should be our own strategic AI which should be developed, which is sometimes called as sovereign AI capabilities. And opaque data governance. Public data platforms lack transparent governance, risking corporate monopolies and erosion of trust. And there is also employment displacement. In 2024 alone, 65,000 IT jobs were lost due to automation and AI. Okay, and 26% of workforce export to generative AI. Generative AI best example is ChatGPT. Because of that, 26% of the workforce is exposed, meaning 26% of the workforce are on the verge of losing their jobs, because generative AI is going to generate certain content based on the data provided to it. If the job is repetitive or repetitive in nature, artificial intelligence is going to use the data available to it, which is already been provided by their modelers, and then there is going to use the data and provide generative content. Okay, as a result, what the human being was doing is being done by AI. As a result, now the work of human being is being replaced by AI. Very important. National initiatives ignore labor transparent transition planning, social protections, and workforce policies. Okay, the idea of becoming sovereign AI capabilities or bringing sovereign AI capabilities is very good. However, we should also consider its implications. If we are going to bring sovereign AI, what will be its implications on the employment generation? Is India ready for implementation of sovereign AI? Okay, that should be considered. And also there is environmental impact. AI is energy intensive. Data center electricity demand may double by 2030. Water stressed cities like Bengaluru, Hyderabad are becoming AI hubs, risking resource overexploitation. Okay, water stressed cities like Bengaluru, that can be a controversy, because what, Bengaluru is not water stressed, Bengaluru is mismanaged. Okay, and then social and ethical risks, that is AI's role in healthcare, policing, and welfare heightens the risk of bias, discrimination, and accountability loss. Okay, so since AI is based on the data which is provided to them, if the AI technology is imported from a particular country, the data is being already provided by the particular country. The data available to the particular country is of their own people, so there can be biases towards communities of other country, races of other country. So that has to be taken care. And also the absence of robust legal and regulatory safeguards may erode public trust. Then there is global standing versus domestic readiness. India positions itself as global South AI voice, but credibility requires domestic coherence and legitimacy. Before you showcase yourself as the voice of global South's artificial intelligence, first there has to be a genuine solid ground. That solid ground can be provided by addressing coherence and legitimacy in India's own laws with respect to AI. Without a transparent consultative national strategy, India's global AI leadership claim is weakened. Okay, so what should be the way forward then? Way forward should be strategic and democratic AI governance, that is, publish a cabinet approved national AI security strategy, present in parliament for democratic scrutiny, and constitute a parliamentary standing committee on AI and emerging tech to oversee ethics, risks, and consultations, and commission on national impact study on AI induced employment disruption, especially in entry level jobs by sector and region. Okay, all these things should be first addressed, only then India should move forward in developing strategic AI capabilities. Okay, so conclusion is, to genuinely lead in AI, India must strategize before executing. This demands inclusive, accountable, and democratic governance, which is backed by public deliberation and institutional readiness. Only then can India align AI with national interest and public good. So these are the articles which I want to discuss with you in today's video. If you like the video, then please hit the like button, comment on it, and also share with your friends. And if you are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and also click on the bell icon so that you don't miss a notification. With this, I will end the video. Jai Hind.